I'm gonna record, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to share my screen, and you guys are gonna start filling out what you can. Did you guys lose all the stuff that I had?
No.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry in advance. But whatever you can, and then for those of you who just got over here, like you can go ahead and and you can fill out like a column over here that shows what the inverse is. That's not a very good column. Okay. And then, yeah, so we can take a look at these and, okay, so one more thing here. This is really good stuff. I'm just.
Wait, so we can just put in the answers?
Yeah, just for each group, just fill out as much as you can. So you guys remember that you can go ahead and populate. So this is for the inverse here. All right. Yeah, so you could just go ahead and fill anything out that you can. And remember, if you go to the top, you have the option to annotate. So just go ahead and annotate that.
Should we try to sketch them places? Or?
Yeah, so if you want to try to sketch like one, maybe we can do like two, you know, maybe over here we could do three, and maybe over here we could do four. If you can try to squeeze those in, I'm okay with that, you know. If anything else, what you could do is if you want to, you know, share, we could share some other cool stuff. But yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far, friends. Yes. Yeah. Now, the other thing I'm going to ask you guys as you're filling all of this out, you know, if you gave me the equation of the asymptote for your original function, you should also be able to give me the equation of your asymptote for your inverse also, okay? So what I could do, because I suck, I'm going to move this over just a smidge. Oh, hold on a second. Let me minimize so we can all see. Can everybody see that? Oh, I must have had this from last time. I don't know where the heck that came from. I'm like, but that looks.
Oh, I drew that again.
Oh shit. Okay. Somebody drew this?
Yeah, I drew that again over there before you wrote the boxes on the bottom.
Oh, this is really pretty. This is number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. That looks great, actually. And you're doing this on a mouse pad?
Yep.
Oh, you savage. I'm not. I'm doing this like, look at me. I'm like, woohoo, because I got my little pen. This looks awesome. Right, and make sure you put arrows at the ends because these do go on forever and ever. Amen, you guys. All of them do. There you go. Put your arrows on there. I don't know who's doing 2, but let's get on that, friends, okay? And if you can, if they do have X and Y intercepts, make sure you like fill them in too and all that, but we could just get a nice idea. Did somebody erase this over here?
Yeah, I had to rewrite it because I did it wrong. I'm putting it in now.
Okay. You have 2 to the x minus 6 equals y? You had that right. Oh, the whole thing. So in other words, it should be this, like this. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and if you want for you, what I would do is that just go parentheses like that so that way you know it's guaranteed. Okay, honey?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So everybody else, like you were asked to find, you were asked to do the work for one of those problems, but what's nice now is that you have them all in front of you. So, so you can go back and try these out yourselves. But everybody over here, don't forget, I want to know what your asymptote is for this guy right over here, the asymptote. So fill that in. So whoever did this one over here, log base 3, blah, 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 blah. Is it x equals 11 for this one? You guys had y equals 11 for this one, but is it x equals 11 for this one here? And if you have to go to Desmos right now and go and graph it, I don't know if I agree with that. Like I want to know what's the asymptote for this log function, what's the asymptote for this exponential function, what's the asymptote for this exponential function. So I don't know if I agree that that's x. Is that a 4 or a 6?
It's a 6.
Are you sure that this is going to be like, if you look at this function, right? Did you graph this and see what it did? everybody do me a favor. If you were in group 1, graph your function and graph the inverse, and then go ahead and see where your asymptotes are. Actually go and graph your asymptotes, your inverses, to see where your asymptotes are here, okay? And then get back to me. I'm gonna give you guys another minute or two because we still have about 4 minutes left. Yeah, because, yep. Did you guys hear all that music in the backyard?
No.
No,
No.
it's blasting because he's working out outside because it's so nice out. And seriously, none of you are coming to work out with me today?
I have an AP test at that time.
Good luck to you. You have a valid reason. Then there's the rest of them. Then there's the rest. Oh, you know what? What am I doing? Ask me, guys. Ask me, what are you doing? We can do, yeah. Okay. Were they what you thought they were? For number 1, were they what you thought you were? Do you still think that the asymptote here is x equals 11? I'm okay if you think you do. I'm okay. For those of you who did number 1, can you have a conversation with each other and say, yes, I think that we are correct?
Yes.
Okay. You all agree?
There's a point that goes past it, I think. Because I see on Desmos, like, it says at
If
11.
you type in x equals 11 as an equation,
Yeah, and it says it's undefined at 11 exactly.
it is undefined at 11. Yes, it definitely is.
But then it goes, like, before that, it's 11 point.
Yeah, it'll work for 11 point something. Anything greater than 11. Can everybody, can I have everybody's focus right now? Here, can everybody look at this? So when we have something like, because we have a minute, and if I go over, I apologize. If you guys at any time have to go anywhere, I'm trying to do a new thing here. When you have something like y equals, let's say, log base 3 of x, okay? Log base 3 of x, this number can never be negative, because if I said to you log base 3 of negative, say, 10, all right? And let's say that that's equal to y, right? Is everybody with me? Let's say hypothetically, are you all listening?
Yeah.
Okay. If I rewrote this in exponential form, I would have 3 to the y equals negative 10. When the hell, what value of y will somehow give me a negative 10 here?
No.
There is nothing. There is nothing in the real world, in a real number system, that allows that, because no matter what value you put in here for y, it comes out to be a positive number, whether you put a -1, whether you put a -2, whether you put 3, because 3 to the -1 is a third. 3 to the -2 is a ninth. 3 to the third is 27. So all of your answers are positive. So when you go to graph log base 3 of x, that's why it's asymptotic to the y-axis, because it's going to have an asymptote at x equals 0, right? It's going to have an asymptote at x equals 0, because this number can never be negative, because you can't take the log of a negative number. It just doesn't work that way, because again, when you write it in exponential form, anytime you have an exponent, no matter what, this thing is always going to be, like if I have a to the x, it's always going to be positive no matter what. Okay? Is everybody okay with that? Regardless of what x is, x can be positive or negative, but this whole thing is going to be positive. If you're with me, say, I'm totally with you, Schwa.
I'm
I'm
totally
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 with
with
you.
you.
Me too. I'm with you too. All right. So I want to erase this real quick, and I want to go back and fill out that thing again, because again, this is something that I want to allude you guys to, because I think it's really important, and then we'll get the heck out of here. So when you're talking about that, I agree that your asymptote here is going to be at x equals 11, because it's going to have to be anything, you know, the domain of this is going to have to be, x has to be greater than 11, because the 0, it's never going to happen either. So you can't have log base 3 of 0. Like if I had to, if I said that was equal to x, 3 to the x will never equal 0. There is no value here that will ever let that thing equal 0. So that's why your domain has to be greater than that. Okay. And again, over here, this is still x equals 0. I agree. Here, this is y equals 0. And over here, this is y equals -4 for your asymptotes. Okay. So we are certainly going to spend more time doing this. I'm going to stop sharing for now. Okay. And then I'm going to ask you guys at some point to go back and take a look at this yourselves. Question: did you like the breakout rooms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to do
Yeah.
more, you want to do more of that where we do breakout rooms and then we come back together as a team?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop